This video is made for adult collectors because, wow, this is an old mold. Lunar New Year this year has brought us back to this. A Lunar New Year / Chinese New Year transformer. It's been a while. Lunar New Year took place, I believe, on the 10th of February, but I know some people celebrate it longer than that. So if you celebrate it or are celebrating it, Happy Lunar New Year. And if you don't, hey, what's good? Lunar New Year is a celebration that celebrates the start of the new year per the lunar calendar, as it's named. Transformer Lunar New Year toys consist of redecos and maybe some slight retools of older molds, being part of the Platinum Edition toy line that ran from 2013 with Year of the Snake Energon Prime to 2017 with Year of the Rooster Optimus Prime. That started and ended with an Optimus Prime. And after 2017, they just kind of stopped, probably due to poor sales or dwindling interest. But this year, they decided to do it again, but not part of Platinum Edition. It's just a standalone release of this guy, Crimsonflame, who's a revival of the Steelbane mold 7 years later. This mold, back in the day, was notorious for being shit. Like, really bad. Consistent loose joints, transformation sections like the shoulders and hips not wanting to tap together, the tip of the tail snapping off, the wings falling off, the sword being horribly bent, the torso being wobbly. Not every copy of Steelbane / Skeletron was affected, but most were. So I was skeptical about this release due to that, but seeing as this is like 60% new tooling, they took the time to actually fix the tolerances, and this toy is now genuinely fun. Before I go any further though, this video was brought to you by Baay. That's where I got this. Baay is a Japanese proxy buying site that allows you to buy things from sites in Japan that wouldn't necessarily ship outside of Japan. And they're like official partners with Takara, Bandai, Amazon, all this sort of stuff. They have so much cool stuff on here and loads of coupons too, cause like I paid, look at this, I paid $2.90 for these three because I had a coupon. This time around, I got these books. I got Crimsonflame for $50. I got this Leader Class Chinese Lucky Draw turned Toys R Us Shelf Warmer Shadow Spark Optimus for $38. That's so cool. This Evasion Prime with upgrades for $40 and Bump of Chicken Bumblebee sealed for $20. So if you sign up using the link below, I believe you save an extra 10% off. So definitely go check them out. Again, it's linked below. Just budget for shipping and taxes. I recommend buying things you cannot get over here on Baay because that makes it feel more worthwhile. I wouldn't buy mainline like legacy toys from there unless you desperately cannot find it. So thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Now back to the actual toy. This toy still though is not 100%. The shoulders will still untap given enough force, but the torso doesn't wobble anymore. So if one of the shoulders comes unpegged, the other won't, and the torso will stay in place. So you won't even know the shoulders come out. Like, that was such a problem where the shoulders would just wobble all the time. This thing visually, okay, visuals actually start with the box, because look at how pretty this box is. It's so clean, yet striking. The orange and the golds with the reds work so friggin' well here, and the Transformers logo in that sort of like color and the border around it, it's so nice. And even the sides and the back look fresh and eye-catching. It's a nice box. I'm not getting rid of it. And then you get the toy, and yeah, while I think the forearms and the shins could have used a bit more paint, the lower torso looks epic and the detail is on point. The chest and the shoulders are the same as the previous version of the mold, but they still look sharp, and the accessories are very well done, but I'll touch on those in a minute. His head is super neat. I love the little bits of red and the silver and the facial hair that he's got going on. They also removed the wings because this isn't based off of a European dragon or wyvern or whatever. It's based on an Asian dragon with no wings. So they took them off, and I think it works a lot better. It just kind of cleans everything up and the wings don't get in the way anymore. Now the stuff that he comes with, wow, it's a lot of stuff for a standard deluxe. You get a very nice shield and this modular staff that's actually 4 pieces, 2 of which are technically blast effects. They have the little ports and they're 5mm as well, so you can put them on anything, and an actual flight stand. Now this stand is neat because it does something I kind of now expect on stands like this. It stores all the accessories. You can plug them in all over there, minus the shield, to have like a place for them to store. I kind of wish the shield had a place to go, but it just sort of completes the robot's look when it's on anyway, so I just leave it on the robot. But that is very cool, that all the stuff just sort of has its own special place. The dragon head does bump into the triple barrel cannon thing though, which is a tiny bit annoying. But boy, does this stand help in posing.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is...
So this is very much just 2017 toy posing, but before I get into the posing, I want to talk about this real quick. So this has to clip into his hand like this, and the hand wasn't originally designed to do that, so it can be a bit scary at first when you're trying to figure out the angle you have to like clip this thing in at. So just be wary of that and make sure this red bit is facing that way when you clip it in, otherwise it just won't go in his hand. Anyways, so his articulation is pretty good, but there's a couple of transformation things I want to show off before we get into the actual transformation that you need to do when going to robot mode. And to start with, to make sure the shoulders are properly pegged in, lift the arms up, grab him by the armpits and like squeeze it while pushing this inward. That will lock everything into place. And then when it comes to the lower crotch section, this was another problem with the original toy. You have to get right down here. I know this looks weird. Right down here and like really push it together. Otherwise it will come apart if you just push it like up here. But once you've done that, everything should stay in place unless you like pull on it too long. But the head is on a ball joint. So you got a little bit of like tilt and stuff, but it's regular ball joint range. Shoulders are on ball joints. They can do a full 360 if you move the arm guards out of the way. They go out only about that far due to the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads do move independently. Very nice shoulder pads too. You have a bicep rotation. You have a ratcheted elbow for some reason, but it bends all the way, which is quite nice. You have wrist rotation as well. Nothing at the waist, just due to how he transforms. The hips can go forward about that far. They can go back that far. They can go in and out about that far. They're on ball joints. You have an upper thigh swivel and a lower thigh swivel. So you have two of those. That's more for the dragon mode. The knees bend about 90 degrees, though this one right here, because of the tail, it only goes so far. That was a problem on the original toy too. However, on this one, the tail is super soft and malleable that you can actually get 90 degrees out of it. It just will bump into stuff back here. So just be wary of that. And then the ankles can go down. They can go up that far. They can swivel. And he has ankle tilt because they're on ball joints. So other than a waist joint, he's very, very posable, especially for a 2017 toy. It's just the slight limitations at the shoulders that make him look a bit awkward sometimes, but like, yeah, it's pretty. And then the dragon legs, they can pretty much go, they're on ball joint, a swivel, and a hinge. So you can like raise them up if you want them up, or you can like, I leave them collapsed because to me that just looks a lot cleaner. Makes the front look more like he's an ancient warrior as opposed to a man with General Grievous arms hanging out the top. So that I'd say is definitely an improvement over the 2017 mold, and the transformation is still very unique. It's still very interesting. So the transformation, if you've ever transformed Steelbane or Skeletron, there's no difference really, other than there's no wings. But if you've never seen this transformation before, it's very, very cool the way that it works. And now that I can actually enjoy it without it falling to pieces, I really like it. So we're gonna start with let's start with the arms first. So you just bring these sections out like that. You rotate the hands 90 degrees, and then you just fold all of this in, fold the shoulder pad in as well while you're at it. Fold all this in, and that's basically the back legs done. Then you want to take the legs right here. We're going to do these first. You want to push this out, rotate the dragon head around, and then bring it out the rest of the way. Do the same on this side, except without the dragon head, it's a tail. So you flip that out like so. Then you want to open up the shoulders, push from here so that it slides up like that. Then you want to take this section right here at the crotch, split it, bring it up almost all of the way, rotate it, and then continue bringing it up the rest of the way till you make the tail section like that. That's really cool. Then you want to take this piece right here and rotate it 90 degrees up and rotate the head so that it's all oriented correctly. Then you want to bring these sections out, bring this forward. That will, like, it says click in the manual, but like, it just sort of soft thoops into place. Then you take the back legs, and these little sections that were the shoulder connectors will now peg into here to connect everything together. And it sits a lot nicer than the original toy did. It actually stays in place, which is very nice. Bring this section down, bring down the legs like so. And that's pretty much, let's raise the head. That's pretty much dragon mode. And then the original toy, you would plug the sword into the back here to sort of like fill it out. But this one has a shield. So you take the shield and you don't drop it. The two pegs at the very end there will go into those two slots. So you take it, you plug it in like this, make sure everything is lined up correctly. I'm not lining something up. What am I doing wrong? Make sure all of that is straight first, and then peg it. There we go. And then just get everything, make sure everything's nice and squeezed together. And that is dragon mode. I love that shield. That really does help. That does wonders actually to sort of fix that problem of the weird gappiness at the back. But there you have dragon mode. That is a pretty nice dragon mode. Still has some of that hollow structure peeking through, but the shield does a very nice job at trying to clean most of that up on the back. And the robot hands are still visible, which is pain, but like I still really like this thing. The head and the tail section being the robot legs mean there's a nice range of motion on those parts. You're not gonna get like SH Monster or its tail posing, but it's not bad. His mouth opens and is blast effect compatible, so you can peg anything into it, which is nice. And he has a cradle on the stand, so you can peg it in and cradle the like chest area, specifically for the dragon mode. The old one should work on this too if you have those. The legs are a tad weird in how the feet are sculpted, so making him stand is kind of strange until you figure it out, and it gets really long. That's what she said. So yeah, I do recommend this. You can find it like I did on Baay, or if he gets a later release, I don't know if he's going to or not. Just don't pay 70. I see a lot of these on Baay between 45 and 70 bucks, and like 45 to 50, I'd say yeah, and like that's great. Anything else I think is a bit too much. And while you're on Baay, go check out some of the other random things they have on there. But yes, I like this. I'm happy to have it. And now I got to figure out what shelf it's going to go on. But that's my look at Transformers Year of the Dragon Crimsonflame. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.